Hey guys, I'm going to give you a quick high tunnel greenhouse update and pumpkin patch update. And since I'm standing right by the pumpkins, let me show you what's going on. So we've been trying to keep up on the weeds, but it's going slow because we're working on so many other things. But we have flowers and buds everywhere, which is wonderful to see. We've got buds, flowers, flowers, flowers. So these here that I'm walking through right now are all Connecticut field pumpkins. And these all, just even in the past like 12 hours, have really shot up. Yesterday it was a lot of small ones like that, and now today they're massive, they were small like that, and today they're massive like that and starting to open. So those are all male flowers on that part, and then down here off of the shoots, those will be females. And if you look down here, there's a monarch. They're just growing like crazy, which is great. So we are noticing we really have a lack of pollinators. We have monarch butterflies, and at this point, that's pretty much it. So you can see there's a pumpkin there. But what worries me is that we have these little guys. That was not pollinated. This one here, not pollinated. It's not ready to fall off yet, but it wasn't pollinated. So I've been coming down and trying to hand pollinate as much as possible, but it's a lot of work. And then those back there are all the Howden biggies, and they're doing well too. That needs to be weeded too, so that'll get done tomorrow. Here's another one that was not pollinated. That's not ready to come off yet. So things are doing okay down here. The plants are looking good. They're looking healthy. These French Cinderella pumpkins are awesome. They're very bushy. They're not viney. And there are buds kind of everywhere in there. I'm not quite sure how these are compared to the Connecticut field pumpkins, but I can see there's a pumpkin right there, so hope that one gets pollinated. But these guys are crazy. This row here that they're right next to are the Godiva Good Egg naked seeded pumpkins, and so those are the really sensitive ones, and they are doing really well too. I don't know if it's species or if the Cinderella pumpkins really kind of protect them from the extreme temperature changes. But they're doing great so far. So we have more weeding even just today. Today was like 93 and high humidity, 94 and high humidity, something like that. So things really shot up today. Yesterday they were hot. They've been hot for 3 weeks straight. So we need to do some desperate weeding in here, but things are looking good. And then let's go over here. Here, I'll zoom out a little. Oh, I can't. I'll back up. As you can see, things are really progressing on the high tunnel greenhouse. The curtain over there is fully functional, goes up and down. It's exactly how it needs to be. We have to do this side yet for that. The end walls are all framed. And then let me go over there and I can show you more details. So originally we were going to put up board and batten ends on here. Just because we have a source for lumber, but they didn't have any 1-bys available that we could get soon. and it would be a while before he could get them kiln dried and then cut. So we ended up changing the plans, and let me show you what we're doing. So we just got back from Menards, and we have the siding that's made out of plywood, and I think that they are 8 inches, 3, 4, 5, 6, that seems about right. So 8 inches, and so we're gonna stain them and put them up on the ends and then on the peaks of the stone coop. We figured as long as we're going down there, they were on sale, they had a rebate. So these peaks here will be done. So we have it, that's something that we can work on in a weekend. Right now the big thing is getting the high tunnel done. So here we are next to the stone coop in the driveway area for the high tunnel. And the trailer works just exactly how we were planning. You know, having this nice wide door here so that if we need to get trailers in, if we need to get the four-wheeler or a tractor in, we can do that. So right here is going to be a big door. Up there you see the square. That's going to be a vent, possibly a fan. Right now, we have a few ideas just so that it gets done quick, and then we can save up the money because we don't want to go in debt more. So we're going to save up the money for something nicer, and then it depends too on when we have the money to put a heater in for year-round growing. So, but a vent goes there, and then over here is just a single door. So the single door is going right here. We already have it. It's a 42-inch wide that we got off of an old church a friend of ours was selling. And they bought a church and we're turning it into a house. And so it's one of the front doors from the church, and it's got some glass panes here. It's really old, it's super heavy, but it'll look great here. And then we go through, and you can see big vent up there, and then these guys here, there's 3, they're gonna be shutter style ventilation windows, and they're just gonna be like on hinges, and I can pull them in on each side. They'll have little hooks that hook to the wall, and then if I want them closed, you know, you just hinge and then they'll be secured. So we're gonna have 3 of those, and then right here we're just gonna have a small door, just wide enough to get like a wheelbarrow in and out. We're pretty excited. I'm sure you can't tell on video, but this sucker's huge. It's I'm glad we didn't go any bigger like we were wanting to, but it's 34 feet wide and 65 feet long. From here you can kind of see the doorways and the vents better. There's the single door, the vent up there, and then the big door for equipment and that kind of stuff. Oh, and then there's a window there too. I forgot about that. We're just going to put in a window also for ventilation there. Since we have an abundance of windows, there's no reason why we don't need to. So that's a quick update here at the pumpkin patch and high tunnel. Now let's bring you up to the house and I can show you our container garden. This is pretty exciting. We haven't had rain for quite a while. I'm thinking the 4th of July. Today is July 14th. Is it really almost 2 weeks without rain? Wow, okay. Well, that explains why I'm irrigating or watering everything again. But it looks like we might be getting some rain. That's exciting. So here's the pumpkin patch all the way down to there, the high tunnel greenhouse, and the stone coop. I'm glad that the stone coop still looks big and is the focal point. I was worried about that, but I think especially since the peak of that and the greenhouse are gonna have the same siding and everything, and we're doing a darker wood stain on it, so it'll be, you know, like a wood tone. So I think it'll really match the rock and all that kind of stuff. And then we'll do black trim to match the stone coop windows and everything. But I think it's gonna look really nice. So here's Beck's flower bed. There's a dahlia right there. The peony has not bloomed yet, but that, I mean, was a small shoot last year. His rose had 2 flowers on it. It was doing great. It does need water again. These are African marigolds. The tall ones are African marigolds from last year. That little guy over on the end is a Cosmo that got reseeded there last year, and we decided to keep it there. And then, you know, his plants from this year. We do have a lot of stuff coming in from last year, so that's exciting. We're not quite sure if this vine is morning glory because the kids have a tendency to just throw seed packets in, or if it's like the vine that I've been pulling out of weeding. Not quite sure, but we decided to leave it there and find out. Those are lilies, I think, of some sort, not quite sure. And then over here, dahlia, and then all along the back we put phlox. So I'm hoping the phlox, I mean, they're looking good, so I'm hoping that they outgrow these weeds pretty soon. So of course I just watered everything, and I was trying to weed. But here is the Celtis celery lettuce plant. This is a cabbage that we started from a cabbage that we bought from a grocery store. And that seems to be coming really well. A couple extra pumpkins. This I think is a watermelon, but I'm not certain. It's coming out great. These are cucumbers, and we do have cucumbers on here somewhere. I'm not quite certain if they are getting, there we go. I'm not quite certain if they are getting pollinated or not. So I started hand pollinating these as well. And just as I'm seeing female flowers open, I'm just trying to pollinate them. Cause see, there's another one that is looking not pollinated, so I'm not sure. But as I'm seeing these guys, the flowers open, if it's a female and I have a male one open, I'm pollinating them. Can cut that guy off. Tomato, I'm thinking this is Brad's Atomic Grape. I don't remember why I am thinking that. I just pruned all these guys back. That's a bean plant. Our peas, we actually have peas on there. Going up the trellis. We have on the back, you can see quite a few, but there's one. So they're doing great. Our pepper plants are looking great. We have, focus. There we go. We've got buds kind of everywhere on these guys, or starts of them. So that is wonderful. We're getting there with peppers, and I have been horrible at getting peppers or growing peppers in the past, so I am excited for that. And here's some tomatoes. This is a Brad's Atomic Grape, covered in buds and tomatoes already. We got some peas in the background there. This one is Cherokee Purple. That one is also a Cherokee Purple. Lots and lots and lots of buds. And then these guys are also doing great. They were just, I can't keep up with the pruning. So I just did a huge pruning. I see I have another one there I gotta prune back. But this is a Cherokee Purple. Okay, so here's our pond. There are 2 big goldfish in there. Those at the beginning of last year were just quarter goldfish from Walmart. And then hydrangeas. Something was eating our hydrangea blossoms before they bloomed. So I'm not quite sure what's up with that. But then we got the daisies. I know they're not daisies. I don't know. And then those little guys, I thought that they were little, I don't even know what they were. We went to a plant sale at a friend's house, and she had a whole bunch of plants that Beck bought, and I bought a few for myself, and I threw them in there, kind of forgot about them, and so they ended up here when they probably should have been down in his bed. But that's evening primrose, and they are absolutely gorgeous. Here we have some pumpkins still. I am keeping these up here for now. As you can see, they have some yellowing, but they seem to be bouncing back. But these are going to go down by the highway once the plants have really taken off, and I know that the bales are wet enough and everything. Those are going to go down by the highway. I really don't need to get them down there till later in the summer. So if the plants don't start really vining out for a bit, that's okay, because then I can make sure that these bales are really nice and wet. Here's these guys. They are evening primrose, she said. And they are really pretty. This is the cord for our smaller pump for in the pond. I was just seeing it had gotten kind of clogged with muck because the dogs are in there so much. So we pulled out the big one, the one that we've used in previous years, and I just have it in there temporarily since it was so hot. I needed to get the water circulating for these guys. So I have to fix that in the next couple of days, and get this one out from under the rock, put the other one in, get it so that it's not on the bottom, because then that's when the dogs get everything mucky. But then we have our little duckies. During the day we let them come out here and swim on the pond and stuff. Hi guys! And then at night they go back in the coop. But they're really loving being out here. We're giving them like watermelon scraps and that kind of stuff, and they're loving it. And then when the dogs are out, we put them in the kennel. When the dogs are in the house, or we know that they're not going to be running around, then they get to swim on the pond. So here are what is left of the peppers over here. I'm not sure what animal got in here. We've got a pea plant over there that just got knocked over from watering, and one there. I'll have to pick that back up and trellis it again. These guys are doing awesome. They're saggy because I just watered them and was just pruning them. But we even have a pepper right there. So something had gotten in here, and I had peas all along the back, and they were all like that high. I'm not sure if it was chickens or what, but they got in and neatly weeded this whole area. And I had two more, let's see, four here, three more pepper plants back there and one there, and they got those as well. So I'm not sure what it was. This is kind of like the Great Abyss over here. They rarely, Remy, no, hey, come here. This area rarely gets watered. It rarely gets, obviously, it never gets weeded. I've been trying really hard to get this cleaned up today, because we came back and even the weeds in that planter right there were drooping. It was just so hot. I pruned those, watered them, and of course now it looks like it's gonna rain, but that's okay. At least they got water, and they're doing really well. Okay, so I just finished pruning this here. We got beans back there, and then I need to trellis some more tomatoes, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plants in here, and they are all doing really well. Tomatoes like crazy in here, and they are coming along great. The pruning, this is my first year ever pruning. It's my first year also ever growing tomatoes from seed, and it is going, I mean, guys, we got so many. And these are going to be Cherokee Purples. So now I'm going to try to get as much weeding done before dark and before it rains as possible in these 2 beds, just so that the plants can grow even better. But obviously they seem to be appreciating me forgetting about them. This really is kind of the last on my priority list between working on the high tunnel and everything else we have going on. This area really is neglected this year, and I feel bad, but it is what it is. There's not enough hours in the day. So I'm wondering what to do with this though. I don't know if I should move it down to where the high tunnel is, so all my gardening is together. Originally I had envisioned we put some pea gravel in there and it was going to spread all around, but it was pea gravel that we got from somebody and it had dirt in it, so then obviously it just got filled with weeds, especially this year. And it's like virtually impossible to weed because it's all compacted. So I'm not quite sure what to do. If I should put, there is a layer of landscaping fabric down under all of this. So I don't know if I should make this into like a flower garden area, and then I was going to hang some pretty lights here, that kind of stuff. Or if I should just pull it up and move it down to the high tunnel and then get some yard back. I don't know. What do you guys think? So as I've alluded to, we have noticed a real big lack of pollinators. As of yesterday, I had only noticed 1 bumblebee. I've not seen any honeybees. Those little tiny guys, we've seen some on, gotten stung a few times from those little tiny ones. And then I think like maybe in May, the very beginning of June, we saw 1 hornet. But usually we have tons of hornet nests by now. We're not even seeing those. And I have been pretty worried about the pollination of our pumpkins. I actually have been down there as I see female plants. I told you earlier that I am hand pollinating everything I can see just to make sure that they get pollinated. So last night we went to the rodeo. We came back, it was almost midnight, and we parked up further so that the kids could double check on the chickens, make sure the doors were locked. Because we had left so early, we wanted to make sure they were all in their coops securely. And we parked under this tree behind me, and I could smell like flowers. I could smell like that, you know, really pretty fragrance. I know it's not pretty, but they look pretty. It smells good. So I could smell the flowers, and when we've been here, this is our 4th July that we've been here. We just had our 3rd anniversary a few weeks ago, and this tree has never blossomed before. I didn't even know basswood could blossom. And so I heard a slight hum from it last night as we were walking by this tree. And let me show you what I found this morning. So that was a huge answer to prayer. I have been so worried about the lack of pollinators, and yes, I'd rather have this way down there where the pumpkins are, but I was pretty nervous, so this gives me hope. We have tons of wildflowers down there all along the edge of the pumpkin patch. We have milkweed that are just starting to flower, so this is a very good sign, and hopefully when this tree is done, they'll all move right down to the pumpkin patch and make me happy. So we are very excited about that, and it was just a great way to start the day. Seeing all those bees, there's bumblebees, there's hornets, there's honeybees, there's little tiny ones, there's big ones that I don't recognize, and so it was wonderful to see. It really was a great way to start the day. And so it gives us hope that our pumpkins will be growing, that we will have a good crop this year.